Okay,
so
I
yeah,
think, Matt, are you on for the first two applications?
I am. Yeah, Ken's away on business, so I'm filling in for Sussman.
Okay, so both of these applications, 1 and 2, are returns from March 17th. The first one Ken had presented, and the second one, there were some technical difficulties, and Matt and Ken presented.
Sorry, guys.
So he's back to with the revised changes. So you want to start with 72 Ludlow?
Yeah, so 72 Ludlow, if you recall, sorry, you can see my screen, right?
yes, I can.
So we had an opposing gable here that kind of created a framework for the porch. Kind of looked a little top heavy and out of character. So based on the comments that you had presented, we revised to carry the hip across, which is in much more balance and engages best with the covered entrance. So this is what the revision is now. Let me just go to the second page. And let's see here.
That's what's house now.
Sorry. This is what it looked like in the front. Previously, we were missing a column here as well. Scales brought down a little bit more, and you don't have a opposing gable here.
But you're not on video.
I think it's much improved. Any other comments? Board?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we talked about.
Yeah, I didn't see the first iteration, but this looks okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can go on to the next
Okay.
one. 15 Pin Oak Lane.
Yes, Rothenberg. So let me just see here. Let me just here. Tools. So originally, we didn't have a window. We didn't have a window on the south elevation here. And I manipulated the scale and size of these divided lights here. Originally, it was a little off skew from what we had presented, and it wasn't had context with what's existing here. So I matched that, and then also carried a double casement window to the south elevation here.
Can you just show the other elevation, just because we don't remember? There we go, okay. Okay, I think that's also what we talked about. Right?
Yeah,
Comments?
yeah,
anyone?
yeah. I think that's exactly.
Now there's one, they've been kicking back and forth, so I'm going to show you something else. The interior designer is now on board, and they're thinking about flanking the windows on either side, so I'm going to show you that too for approval. Because they're thinking about putting a desk in between now.
I think that's fine. I could go with either.
Yeah, either way, it looks like a good solution.
Okay.
Yep, I'm okay with it.
Okay, good. Thank you. We both approved.
All right. Perfect.
Hey,
Thank you.
Matt, have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, is Tom Curley here? Or anyone from Franzozo Contracting? No? Okay, all right, let's move on to Scott Person for 31 Old Lime Road. Oh, Tom is on, hold on. Sorry, let's go back. Third application, 45 anyone. I see him connecting. Hi, Tom.
Hello,
How are you?
very good. How are you, Daisy?
Good. Are you going to be presenting?
Oh, yes, I can. I'm set up to do that if you like.
Yes, please. Can you share your screen?
Oh, you want me to do it now?
Yes,
All right. Hang on a second.
sure.
You guys are going to see my messy desktop here. Open system preferences. Not working yet. Try again.
Sure.
So I'm getting a prompt in my security dialog box.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can share my screen, okay?
Okay.
Can you see that?
I can. There.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll down. Okay, you can do the talking while I scroll.
Okay, that's great. So good evening, everybody. It's good to see you again. I think we're last before you, it was a couple of years ago where we put an addition on the house, and you can see on the Google Earth view here that red dot is the subject of this application. That's the existing separate garage. Within that red circle to the lower right is the house within the right there, right? And if you scroll back up a minute, Daisy, and to the left, you can see the existing homes in the neighborhood. And so you get a feeling for the architectural style that exists here. You can tell that clearly these homes were built at different points in time, rather than it being a single comprehensive subdivision. So there's a variety of styles in the neighborhood. And hold there, Daisy. So that's the house, and the structure, the addition that you guys helped us get done back in 2018 is that part of the house which is to the right, and you can see the window choices that were made there. The sort of 2/1, the grill pattern in an attempt to sort of marry the architecture of the main house with the addition. It's our intention over time, we will be replacing those windows in the house. We've been here since '92, and the original structure, which is the 2-story piece, is actually 1893. It was an original barn. So we're going to be replacing the windows over time. And we will be essentially matching that grill pattern with probably awning windows in most of the rest of the house. So you get a feeling for the architectural style of the house and what our intentions are there. Daisy, you want to scroll down? This is just so you get a feeling. This is the inside of that addition, and you can see the window style more clearly in this photograph. That we use there and we eventually use for the rest of the house, and we will be using for the garage addition. Next. So survey of the property, you can see more clearly here to the left on Inningwood Road, the house. And then there is a driveway to the west of that with the sort of circular turnaround pad, and the garage is to the west of that square building, which is closer to the westerly property line. Next. This is just to give you a quick view of the 4 sides of that garage. There are more detailed photographs coming up. On the right, you can see the garage in that little mini site plan. The pochade building there is the garage itself. It's our intention, Amanda's here.
Hello.
And it's our intention that Amanda is in her retirement is become an avid quilter. And there's just not enough room in the house to actually, well, she does it anyway, but it'd be great if she had more room. You can scroll down. So our intention is to take the attic of that, we can stop here, the attic portion of that garage and turn it into a quilting studio. So on the lower right, it may be hard to read, but on the lower right, you can see it's labeled the attic floor plan, and you can maybe discern a smaller square within the larger square of that floor plan footprint. And that smaller square is an interior room we would be building inside the attic. Remembering, if you look at the sections to the left, on the top left, you can see the section looking north, and you can see the slope of the attic itself. So we'd be building partitions to the acceptable room height by code, and then finishing off the space so that we can have a quilting studio there. There are new windows that are planned for in 4 locations, and replacement windows in 3 locations. The new windows, if you scroll down, if you would. Here are elevations on the upper right. I'll show you some larger elevations in a minute. But the north elevation faces a large vegetable garden that Amanda tends every summer. And so the upper floor of that space would have a large 6x6 window, casement window that would open inwards, and then 2 smaller windows on either side, because this is a dark space, and we need to get as much light and ventilation as we can through there. So we're going to add 2 extra windows there. You'll see those in a minute on a larger elevation. So, and then the south elevation is the one facing the road. You know, scroll down. So here's some detailed pictures of the garage. It needs to be tended to. It's time for us to turn our attention to it and replace the trim, paint the whole thing. You can't see it here, but part of the improvements we made when we did the addition to the house is we put solar panels on the roof, so you can maybe just make those out here, and they serve the entire property. Next. This is the west elevation. I couldn't get fully behind it because there's a hedgerow and the property line is right back there. But you can see there are 3 windows there, which we would not change. There's no reason to change those right now. And then you can see that the building is essentially the lower floor is cedar shingles, and the upper floor facade is vertical TNG siding. We would be keeping the shingles because they're in very good shape, but repainting, but replacing all of the exterior trim and replacing the vertical siding as well. Next. So here's the south elevation view, and there's a blow up of what the elevation would look like. So we're only adding that one light up at the top near the top of the gable. Again, to get more light and ventilation in the space. And then the 2 windows you see there and the door are replacement. Could you, next one? And you can see here that the intention, when we redid the facade years ago, when we cleaned up the facade of the house, we put in some window trim with copper flashing. And the intent is to replicate that in the garage as well. You can maybe make out those special lintels and copper. It's copper flashing. It'd be flashed with copper as well. So the intent is to make the garage mimic the house with, as I said, new siding in the upper story and existing shingles in the lower story. Next. And then this is I'm sorry. That facade, the south elevation, that's the one that faces Anywood Road. And then the north elevation is the one that faces the backyard. Next slide. And again, you can see the intent is to again mimic the architecture of the house. And in this view, you can see the two smaller windows, which will be new here on either side of the 6x6 large casement window. The windows will be wood, except for that large casement window. The plan is to have that as a steel window, steel casement, again, that would open inward, and there's a necessity to put a railing there since it's because of the height of the window. So there'll be a railing that will be attached to the facade of the building there, and it would. And again, this is the elevation that faces north. And if you recall the site plan that and the Google Earth, that there are really no neighbors back there who would see this elevation anyway.
Mm.
And the next view is just a quick sketch up of what the intention of that room would be. And on the right, you see that what would be that casement window and the two small windows that would be there. And that's pretty much it. If you all have any questions.
No, I think it looks nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, looks like a neat space.
Oh, thank you. Well, we hope so.
Yeah, really do.
It's one of those things where you decide at a certain point whether you're gonna, pack up and go elsewhere, or you're gonna double down where you are. And we decided to double down. We just love the town so much.
Great. Looks good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay.
Okay.
you.
Have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye-bye.
Our next application is 31 Old Lime Road. Hey, Scott.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, we'll share my screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Nope.
And now you'll be able to. Hopefully, if this does not crash my computer. Okay. So, good evening, everybody. I'm here to present to the Architectural Review Board our proposed rear addition to 31 Old Lime. It is a property that, as you look at the Google Earth map, effectively backs to the athletic fields at Grafflin. So we are subject property 31. 25 Old Lime, which is the lower left, is a colonial house with a double height portico. Number 30, which is our direct neighbor across the street, which is a little bit below street level, is somewhat of a raised ranch. And the neighborhood is somewhat of a blend between modified colonials and raised ranches. Our subject property, which is shown in the 4 images to the right, underwent, I would say, a heavy facelift by 2 owners ago. And excuse me, the majority of the work that we are doing is impacting at the rear of our garage, off the back of the house, which you see on the top right, the sliding glass door, and then a dining room addition, which would be visible as you drive up Old Lime on the south side of the house. So I'll show you our site plan. As you will see, we are proposing this new 1-story addition that wraps around our existing house. It is a 1-level addition. It is for the purpose of creating a formal dining room, which the house lacks now, a larger eat-in kitchen, and a 3-seasons porch. I'm guessing that you've seen several of these 3-season porches this year. I'm going to skip ahead a few sheets in the drawing set to the exterior elevations. So this is the elevation as you're driving up from the north. This is the existing side of the house with the brick chimney, which will remain. And you can see in the background the small existing extension of the breakfast room, which will be enveloped by our new dining room. We're introducing an end gable Actually, there are two gables. There's an end gable that's towards the rear yard, which we'll see momentarily how that relates to the Three Seasons room. And then there is a box bay with 3 double hung windows. There will be a window in the basement in the space below. This is the rear elevation of our home. So now you're seeing that extension for the dining room, which would have French doors to the backyard. The extension of the kitchen in the center, which actually has a pair of fixed French doors adjacent to a pair of active French doors. And then we have our Three Seasons room, which is taking from the language regarded in an earlier project of the gables, the return corners. We have a small arch top window that will allow light into the upper level of this Three Seasons room. But otherwise, there's a fixed AZAC panel along the bottom with screens above. And to take you back around to the driveway side of the house, you'll see that arc returns. The arc window on the end gable is repeated as an archtop dormer that's centered on the 3 bays of the Three Seasons room. And that is the complete elevations that we have. There's no visible change to the existing front of this house.
Do you have a section through the new addition?
I do. So here you'll see there's a pocket to allow for the existing windows of the second floor. So there's a shallow pitched roof that'll then engage with the 12 and 5 pitch of the rest of the addition of the kitchen. So this shows you this. It's called office. It's a Zoom room is effectively what it is in the basement that's adjacent to the rec room. So this is the section through the addition, as it's noted in J1. A1 is a section looking through the dining room with the gym space below. And swinging around to A10, it shows you essentially this is a view through the screen porch looking back at the rear wall of the house.
Did you explore doing just almost a flat roof, a low pitch roof instead of the higher pitch with the window well cutouts? Because I think in that elevation, it just looks very, very odd to me. And I just think logistically, I think it's just a snow catcher.
We were trying to catch the gable of the dining room, and it is a flat backyard. And so the homeowners and we discussed having the metal flashing be in front of these windows to avoid just looking down at what might just otherwise be like an asphalt. Like a tar roof, effectively.
Right. Do you have a roof plan by chance?
Yeah. Wait, did I click on the wrong one?
It's a big addition.
There should be a roof plan. Why am I not?
Well, that one sort of shows it, but it doesn't quite match.
There's with the framing of the.
Yeah, it doesn't quite match your section or elevations. You have a much longer flat seam copper or whatever copper.
Yeah.
Metal roof. So those window wells are much longer than what you show there.
Right. The section is what really showed us the depth of them.
Right. So, I mean, the plan looks somewhat reasonable and acceptable, but as soon as you get to the section in the elevation, it just looks like such a deep cut into the gable. The question is, why are you even doing that?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't know. Anybody else think it's kind of odd? I mean, why not just start a single slope in copper or whatever metal you're using and just bring that all the way down between the two? Or does that mess up what you're trying to do in the ceiling?
It's an excellent question. I think there's definitely a cost consideration in going into that much metal, but obviously there's a cost in framing up this roof. The other thing is that we do have to give consideration because the house was retrofitted with central air. It was not originally built with it. We were trying to create some cavities that we can take a 10-inch duct out of the range hood, which is on the back wall of the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a long answer to a short question, which is we needed some cavity space to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So can you go back to the section?
Mhm.
No. Yeah, I agree with Stanley that it's a little awkward looking, and there's probably a simpler way to solve this. I mean, I'm sure that you've looked at a number of different options, but
I mean, where are you taking that exhaust hood out? I'm not sure.
It has to cross above the top of the cabinets, then go between the existing floor joists. It's going to be a little bit complicated. I know we solved it. I'm not sure if it's in this drawing set, although I would imagine, because we do like to address for Tom where our fresh air intake and our exhaust is going, it would be on this, but I apologize that off the top of my head, I'm going to go through these other drawings. The other thing about these pockets should be on. The other thing about these pockets is that there was a project that we completed with a very similar exterior architecture. You know, there is something that I do like about the pockets when they have enough room like that and they are pitched in terms of, you know, the intention obviously is to avoid having a larger flat roof area, which would then magnify the height of the adjacent structures. Trying to find, I apologize, I'm not seeing where, and I know that it was indicated. There's the radon system, and we taught. It's possible that from my recollection, and I know the homeowner's on too, and they might have a recollection that is stronger to mine as to where we finally agreed that this would terminate. But the intention is obviously to get it out, I believe, onto the roof.
Right. So not that it is our. I'm just trying to see. I mean, I don't even see the hood on the roof line, but
Yeah, and that's what I was looking for too.
do you have the elevation of that? I mean, I don't know where it lays.
I mean, where
terms
the
of that.
hood is in relation to the
To the roof.
So,
Because again, your
essentially-
drawings aren't matching
no,
you
I
know,
understand.
what you're really doing. And you know, I assume you're going to take the copper or whatever metal up to the sides too and bring it out further. But yeah, I don't. You know what bothers me more is that it looks like, you know, missing teeth. You've got that one bit of gable between the windows going up, and it just to me looks very, very odd.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm okay with everything else that you're doing. It's just I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. Oh, so you're using that sloped where the gable continues up. You're using some of that for the hood, maybe. I don't.
Yeah. I don't. It's not drawn on here on the final submission that we would give to Tom. I know we have to indicate.
Yeah. But everything about that rear elevation in the middle just looks odd to me, that you've got these slivers of gable just continuing up, and really it just seems like you're doing more framing to create some sort of continuity with that gable, and I think it's not working for me.
Thanks.
Other board members have comments?
no, I agree with Stanley. I think especially, yeah, where it's not fully engaging with the windows, but coming up pretty high. I think it's
And
just
even I'm not even sure if it's drawn correctly, because look at the left window. That lower flat roof area looks like it's intersecting the new gable too, which, you know, doesn't show up at all on the roof plan. So you know, I always appreciate it when the drawings match and somebody's actually drawn reality, and I just don't. You know, I think obviously I know you guys can do it, but you just didn't do it on these drawings.
Yeah, I think that there's an evolution of every project, as we know, and so the layout of this kitchen went through a few iterations, and I'm trying in my memory with my COVID brain to piece together when we resolved the venting of it. But having said that, you know, obviously we were trying to be thoughtful about having a cavity there that would enable us to both align with a continuous head height across the rear, but also not have an undesirably shallow pitch. I do see exactly what you're saying in terms of the corner here. So you are creating an additional triangle that might not be necessary. Whereas we should theoretically, although it is a long distance, be able to continue it in an asphalt shingle. I just don't want them to land with a flat roof or be wed to having that all be metal. So, in terms of a solution, I'd like to see a shallow pitch roof, but one that at least is consistent in its materiality with the rest of the roof. Because again, if I were to go back to the Google Earth image, the experience of this house is going to be very much, in that courtyard space, which, to go to my first floor plan for 1 second, this to really have the end gables be the prominent feature, they're obviously not the same width, so we had to balance that. But there is the element of just making sure that this pitch is appropriate and allows us to get underneath the flush header. I can revisit and reduce the pitch to keep it a consistent material. And we have a builder on board now that we were in the midst of obviously pricing as we were trying to finalize all the interior architecture. So as often happens in these permit processes, we now have some answers that might not have been available to us at the time that we finalized that exterior architecture.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think everything else is fine. I just think the roof looks unresolved, and the fact that your drawings don't match tells me that it's unresolved. And I think it's causing more attention to the wackiness of it than if it was just one single slope, or maybe two slopes, or just something that was less busy.
Yeah, I think we see quite a few of these where these additions are dealing with that second level or second story window, and it creates a complicated design issue in a lot of ways.
But I mean, if it was a longer roof and you're intersecting it, here and there with the wells, it sort of makes sense. But the fact that you've got almost a rhythm of more negative space than positive space, you've just kind of eaten away the whole slope.
Yeah, no, I in an ideal world, we'd have the windows of the second floor be centered on that fenestration of the kitchen so that we could at least create that sequence. And since we're not working on the second floor, which the other house that I was alluding to in Random Farms, we did move windows in order to accommodate not having two teeth, but one. So I hear you on that.
Okay. All right.
Well, it looks like you did add one window on the top left of the side elevation, and you lost windows in the back, right?
Yes, we had to give to get. So in order to get a vaulted ceiling in this dining room space, we needed to unfortunately let go of another window, which is why we're keeping that other double hung window in it's the dressing hall of the closet, master closet.
So do you want to take a look at cleaning up the back elevation and look at the details? I don't know if that's going to hurt your building permit schedule. We'll take a look at it in 2 weeks.
Okay, Scott, so if you can just submit 2 revised copy set plans and drop them off at town hall, and either a thumb drive or you can email me the revised plans 1 week prior to the meetings on the 21st.
Right. Does Tom know if the response letter would be coming with that so that any comments could be addressed in a single submission?
So the file will stay in my bin until the next meeting, but Tom will if he, Tom, you want to answer?
We are currently 4 to 6 weeks in review time. So if there is an opportunity to pull it and start, I will, and then I can follow up with any additional reviews.
Okay. Yeah. So because I know we had missed we rolled to an ARB this hearing. So it seems like our next ARB submission, or I should say presentation, would coincide with that 6-week time frame. So I hope that we will be able to, per the venting, which I don't see on this, address. I might go ahead and put some notes on here, Tom, that I think you might be looking for, now that we have a final kitchen layout. Okay.
Please do. Thank you.
Okay. Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody. See
Thanks,
you
Scott.
soon.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Bill, Spade,
I'm here.
hi, is anyone else coming on with you?
No, no.
Okay, great.
So good evening, everyone. I'll put up screen share and hopefully see what we're looking for. Can you see a Google map?
Mhm.
Great. So this is, we're proposing a relatively small addition to the rear of this home, first floor addition to expand the kitchen and create a new mudroom. The property is 37 Bittersweet. We're at the end of the cul-de-sac on Bittersweet. If you know that street, the hill rises up to the east, to the right. And so they're at a kind of a crown of the hill, and the houses on the other side of the street are down in the valley. So they're not on the same grade. There are no houses to either side. So it's kind of up there on its own. I'll show you photos of the existing house just to give you. So there's the front of the house. We're not proposing any modifications to the front, but you can see it's a simple colonial style house, 2 stories. Show you this is the right side elevation. This is work addition on the right end of the house here that was done in the early 2000s. Again, we're not proposing any modification there. The rear of the house, the rear side and the left side, the addition we're proposing. Can you see my cursor, by the way?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. The addition we're proposing is a 3-foot bump out here on the back left portion of the first floor. This is an existing office space, sort of in-home office space in the rear corner. And then the kitchen is next to it. So we're going to bump that out by 3 feet. It's about 25 feet long. This rear corner is going to become a new mudroom entrance. Right now, to get into the house, they go down from the basement garage level, a little unfinished mudroom there, and make their way in and up the steps. And so they're trying to get a more direct access into the house by creating a mudroom out of this rear corner room. I'll show you the plans in a second. The neighboring houses, this is the house to the north, similarly up the hill in kind of a colonial style. And then the next 2 are the homes across the street, again, colonial style and a ranch. So that style is the prevalent style there. In terms of plans, I'll show you the plot plan first. Sorry, be able to see everything on the screen at one time. Again, you see indicated here this 3-foot deep by 25.5-foot wide 1-story bump out that we're proposing. Next is the floor plan. That's the basement on the left. We're actually going to finish the space that's unfinished at the moment in the basement. You see the proposed addition crawl space set up on the rear. And then in the first floor plan, these are these new spaces, the new mudroom space that we're creating. We're going to expand an existing powder room into that space, and then expand and redo the kitchen there. So this is 3 feet deep by 25.5 feet long. We've got some windows that we're going to replace in the same openings as well that are noted there. Go down to this is the rear elevation. There is, as you may remember from the photograph, there's an existing roof line that extends all the way across. So we're kind of replicating that roof line, but that roof line comes very low. It's a 7-foot soffit on this is about a 1.5 foot elevation, or sorry, plan difference between the first floor and the second floor being about 1.5 feet back from this existing first floor. And that was done to, I presume, to create this roof line across the rear of the house. So we're fairly well replicating that roof, but moving it up in order to create a proper head height in the kitchen addition. I can show you a section through that. Here's the section of that bump out. You see dashed in the existing roof configuration and wall, and then our proposed. So we had to raise the soffit level up and reduce the pitch of the roof in order to maintain an 8-foot ceiling height there. And otherwise, the spaces remain the same, and we keep that roof line down below the second floor windows. That is, I think, the simple explanation of everything. You know what I failed to do is I didn't show you a side elevation of that, and here is the side elevation that goes with that, showing that bump out. We're going to continue. You may note that this addition wall plane is in the same plane, so we're going to maintain the soffit and corner trim board that is there in order to keep that completed view. And then, you know, this should have shown this piece of fascia continuing on to the existing roof, and that's what would be done. But we're replicating the same overhang amounts. It's a 1 foot 6 inch overhang on all the other roofs there, so we're replicating that. The deck and railing and those pieces are existing further back on this elevation. So that's the simple explanation. Any questions?
What's new on the front elevation?
Nothing new on the front.
Oh, you say new front.
Where did on the front elevation is there?
What do you call it, the new front?
I see. Yeah, there's nothing new. Sorry, we did have a larger renovation that we had been considering, so I think I failed to catch that. We should have changed that elevation, changed that note, the label. But there is no changes being proposed.
Okay.
Can you go back, sorry, to that left elevation?
Yeah.
You said that the addition is in the same plane as the
left
there's the
side
same-
wall. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that stuck out at me is, I know you said that the fascia is supposed to continue up, but I guess, and you know, I can be convinced otherwise, but that continuing the existing fascia down for the sake of matching on the other side, it feels like it creates those slivers of siding in between the new and the old.
Mhm.
And I would argue that you don't need to keep the old and just and doesn't have to match the other side. You can just transition from one to the other.
Yeah, have that continue through and eliminate this.
Yeah.
piece and that corner board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. If we can just note that we would make that change, happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be my only comment. Otherwise, I think it looks fine.
The house being reskinned, or is it just this elevation? It's the new hardy plank.
The whole house is being reskinned. It's a currently vinyl siding. So they wanted to change it to hardy plank and still, you know, maintain that horizontal siding appearance.
And I can't help myself, but the shutters at the top, you've got, you know, two windows together. There's small shutters on the side. I see the front facade has shutters that are proportional to some of the windows, and when they have double windows, they don't have the shutters. So I didn't know if you married to the.
Yeah.
Right, second floor's got shutters that look roughly proportional, and the bigger windows don't.
I wonder if we didn't, here's the front elevation. I
Yeah,
think
I don't
the shutters too large.
Yeah, I don't think they're proportional, Bob.
No, I'm sorry, at the bottom, you have two windows together without shutters, and the top, you have single
Yeah.
windows with shutters, and
Yeah, we were, maybe other than maybe not drawing the width of the shutters correctly, we were just replicating what was existing. But is it, are you thinking you would prefer to see the first floor windows also have the shutters?
no, I would suggest that the top double window on the side elevation do not have shutters, because I think it's more consistent with the house, and
I
it's
see what you're saying.
more proportional to the spirit of shutters and windows. But
Yeah. And I think yeah, right now there's shutters on all of those
Oh, it is.
windows. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
very obviously erratic
Yes,
concept of shutters.
yeah, I thought it was consistent. If it's erratic, it's already erratic. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Sarah's comment now that I saw that photograph again.
Yeah. So
I would change that.
remove that existing trim.
Yeah, and just make it a,
new roof line into it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, I
Is
Okay.
it good?
think we're good.
Oh, with those marked changes, yeah.
Right. with the-
Yeah. Is there something you like me to do, somehow marking it up? And I mean, I could email something to Daisy right away. Is that, I don't know what your protocol
It's
is.
up to the board if they're okay with just the verbal and not having it at hand. That's up to you, Bob.
I think it's okay. It's simple. We're just talking about that one location. So I think. it's-
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Bill,
Great.
you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a good night.
Have a good
care,
night.
Bill.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so the next application is a storefront for Country Deli at 76 Millwood Place. And I believe
Yes.
John is on. Hi, John.
Yes. How are you?
Good, how are
everyone.
you? Okay, are you able to share screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's it right there, right?
There you go. You got it?
You got the
No,
surprise? Yeah.
No?
You mean it, the picture? Yeah, it's showing on top here.
Yeah.
okay,
I don't know how else to do it.
okay, let me try to do this, hold on.
Maybe she's gonna make it bigger. Put you on a big screen?
No, I don't know. It's recording.
Okay, can we see that?
I do.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so, this is basically the drawing. They're doing a storefront at 76 Millwood.
It's a
Um,
replacement,
A replacement.
right?
So do you want to talk about what exactly it is?
Me?
Yes,
It's, right now it's copper and glass, obviously. It was built probably 30s when the building was originally built. Replacing it with aluminum, extruded aluminum. I thought brown to match the other storefront. There's two storefronts there that are identical right now. And that's about it. It's gonna have the door, we will make the door swing out for code.
Daisy, can you put up photographs of the storefronts? Do we?
She has them, there you go. That's next door. That was one of the other storefronts,
A different building.
different
Yeah, it's a
building,
Different building. That's- yeah,
different
it's-
buildings. She wanted me to compare them, so. That's ours coming up. That's,
The nail salon.
no, it's not. It's the, there we go. That's mine. That's the one that's damaged. The one prior is identical to that, and that's the one we're trying to match or stay kind of similar.
Are they gonna match? I mean, that building is one of the more uniform, multi-retail buildings in town. Are you putting materials and finishes that are the same as a neighbor to you?
Well, it's not going to match identical because it's not going to be copper. It will be brown extruded aluminum.
What is it today?
Say that again?
What material is it today, the storefront?
It's copper.
It is copper. That's just falling apart, I guess.
Well, it was damaged in the storm on the February 2nd, that heavy snow we had. Some snow drifted up on the top and came down the next day and smashed on the awning and pushed in the glass. So the frame of the structure is broken.
Glass.
And the glass is broken. The door has been pushed back. You have to push on the door to lock it at night.
Can you
So
scroll up on the
is-
photo a little bit, Daisy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or zoom out,
We
maybe
can
so
pull
you get a
back
little
and
bit.
see both of them in the same view.
This is, it's not going any smaller than what it is because it was sent in on a large scale.
Is there a photo of the building, not just the storefront?
Is there what?
Photo of the whole building.
Um,
That's another store. There's 4 storefronts there of mine. This is a newer addition that was done
Right.
20 some odd years ago. That's the garden center across the street. Go down one more. I think you'll get the other store. No, that's mine. Go down one more. And that's the other store right next to mine. That's the same copper. Same basic big window, door, recessed entrance.
So
So ba-
I think from my standpoint, the objective would be to try to make it look the same. So what do we have to go by to understand that besides that hand-drawn sketch on loose leaf paper?
Can you go back to that drawing?
How do we have confidence? How do we understand that it's gonna look the same, albeit? not-
It's gonna look as close to, it's not gonna look exact. It's almost impossible to duplicate that. There's no parts available for that window. For that copper, the way it's made, it's very thin. It's maybe 1.5 to 2 inches.
it's not safety glass.
It's not safety glass. It's just plate glass there.
the
in the
the
30s.
transom above, the thin bit of window above
Yes,
on the other storefront looks like it goes across and above the door, not, it doesn't jog back like you have it shown?
yes, it does. It's identical. They both go back, have that recessed door.
Okay, but the transom above looks like it continues across in front of the door. Is that?
This is what he's talking about, right? That.
Yeah, it's
that-
there.
Yeah.
It's the same as mine.
Daisy, just go back to the photograph of the next door neighbor.
I'm gonna see if I can get it on Google Earth on my screen.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you
That
go.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See the transom? It's right there.
Yeah, but it
Goes right
goes,
across.
it goes all the way across the front. It doesn't.
Oh, you're
jog
not
back
talking,
to the
that's
door.
not my store though. That's a different store.
Okay, and yours does this or does something else? See, I
My
can't-
transom goes across the front. The door is recessed in.
Right, and your sketch shows something different. You're gonna jog the transom back too?
No, the transom, I think it's deceiving the way he drew it, but the transom is gonna go across the top, right
Okay.
across the front. There'll be like a little, I don't know if you want to call it a canopy over the doorway,
The way it is now, same way.
the way it
Yeah.
is now, which is
Yeah.
identical to what it is.
He didn't draw it the right way.
Yeah, he didn't
Alright.
draw it that way.
Hey
Right.
Daisy, is there a way I can take over the screen? I've got a good image. to
Sure.
show If I can, whoops, let me flip screens. All right, let me-
Yeah.
All right, so it's not really as exact as, the building feels when you drive past it, but actually, yeah, yours kicks back here where this is flat, is that right? Or is this? kick
No,
back?
they both kick back. They both kick back. The other two stores are flat, flush to the front. That is the addition.
Bob,
Sarah, you're on mute.
Sorry, saying, so the doors both step back, but you're saying that the transom runs across the front, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
no, I know, but your drawing doesn't show that. Is
I know he didn't draw it correctly. I'm sorry for that.
who drew that? Can I ask?
The contractor.
You remember his name? I don't remember his name.
It's very hard to approve that kind of a drawing and have an expectation that it's gonna look a certain way.
It's gonna look the same footprint as what it is. The door is gonna swing out. That's gonna be different. And we're gonna maybe try to put a little bit bigger door, but that's about the only thing. A little wider, a couple inches to get the full 36 inch.
And also, most storefronts, when they meet a corner, the corner becomes basically a big block because you're trying to match two mullions.
Well, that's a
90
problem because, right,
And I don't know if you're I don't know what you're doing because it's not, the hand drawing doesn't really show it, what you're doing. Some manufacturers make a 90-degree corner that's smaller, but
but
if you don't
there's
do
not a
that,
90-degree turn there. There's
you're gonna
not a
get a-
90-degree. It's
Right,
almost a 45.
you're gonna, I can't, yeah, so I can't.
I mean,
They
I know
told-
for interior storefronts, they make those, and I'm sure there's something for exterior as well, but it would have to be kind of specified in the drawing.
There has to be a better way to get better documentation. Tom, would you give a building permit on that piece of paper?
You're on mute, Tom.
I'm trying.
You're on mute.
Yeah, it was hesitant. This is a direct replacement of what is going back in the location. A lot of storefront retrofits don't have shop drawings. They're pretty much cut to fit. This was more thinking in the terms of they're putting the transom windows across the top to match what was pre-existing, matching the original design that was done with the building, having the door back set, and following the original lines. It was more of a direct replacement and giving the board a chance to talk about the color being either a bronze color or a white color or brushed aluminum. There's an emphasis to put safety glass in these openings because now it's just standard plate glass from the original installation. The upper transom windows are of a original caning style. So they have lead infill. So this was more of a modernization of an existing opening. So it wasn't so much the drawings needing to be, shop drawings. It just needs to be completed. So we could issue a building permit based on this here.
So if this is basically like a level 1 replacement, are we really just commenting on color?
Yeah, in my opinion, color and the sizes of the windows. In the Millwood design characteristics, they have certain guidelines of what they like to see. And this was more for the board to see that this was applicable to those guidelines, having broken up the top transom windows, having tried to make the smallest amount of plate glass window available, and trying to emulate the original design that was typical with the building from inception.
Are there operable windows, or were there now the vent windows?
John, do you
Yes,
wanna
there's
answer
one
that?
up there.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
And you're putting 2?
Yes, I'd like to put 2 up there.
Because we won't have a screen door anymore.
Thus, we're going to lose the screen door. We have a screen door on the front door. So by putting the door swinging out, there will not be a screen door for ventilation, which we use sometimes.
So I think, for me, that I think if we're judging the intent, it seems fine. I mean, Bob, I think you make the call as to if that's the crux of it, but otherwise it's hard to judge based off of anything else.
Right. And the color, inside the color again, you're looking to do,
It's like a bronze, brown bronze.
Usually
Any
they kind of-
storefront, if you look at these extruded aluminum storefronts, they're all either brown, white, or brushed aluminum.
Right, I
I'm
would.
really-
aeronautic type finishes.
I would do a dark bronze is.
Yeah.
generally
Yeah, that's what it
generic
is.
term.
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay,
Just make it go away when you're looking at it.
Make it go away.
What do you mean?
Make the
do you
frame
mean?
go away, like when you see the.
Oh,
windows,
yeah.
They're very dark.
okay.
Yeah.
Brandon, Travis, any thoughts?
No, yeah, brown is, I think, the way to go.
Okay,
I'm
Dark
fine.
brown.
okay,
I'm fine with it.
okay.
Thank you, board.
We'll approve it.
You're all set,
Thank
John.
you.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good
It
night.
is also a safety hazard, I will say that.
Okay, that's understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Mm.
Oh, I saw
Okay.
it there.
Okay, next one is 34 Elizabeth Street. Tim,
Hey Daisy.
how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Ready to share?
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing a couple of additions on this house, one of which was actually approved by this board in August of 19. It was a two-phase thing at the time. They actually did phase one, which is renovate the garage into a mudroom, but the kitchen addition was held off on till now. And they, in the meantime, decided let's also do a master bath and an office. So we're like, okay. So you're going to see a couple things tonight. But this is at the end of Elizabeth Street, which is off Douglas. It's the lot at the end of the cul-de-sac here. I have pictures of a few houses around with the neighbors. Hold up a sec. So, you know, the houses are, you know, pretty typical, nothing very alike here. Can hardly even see the two houses in back. There's a lot of trees. This has a pretty substantial house. These other houses have kind of a cape feel to it here. This one's a little out of character for the whole neighborhood, but it's a nice house. So a lot of nice details on it. So this is the house. It's mainly a brick house. There was an addition put off the back, probably in the 80s or 90s, that we're essentially not touching. But this was the former garage. We put a mudroom entry here in the last year or so. So the area we're focusing now is we're going to actually build this part of the kitchen addition. Like I said, that part was already approved. It's going to have a little shed roof. We're basically squaring off this corner. But the little shed roof we put here out from the mudroom figures, that's when they're going to call me right during a meeting. But sorry. There's essentially no change to this part of the front of the house. The other addition is going to go over on this side, which is this side, all the way around on the east, I suppose it is. So you see we've got a kind of an odd window fenestration here. There's 8-inch cedar clapboards here. And the eave line, something that's very important to realize is this eave line here from the inside is only 5 feet tall. And there's a little cantilever here. So really, when you try and get up into the edge of that room, it's very low. The same thing, even lower, happens in the old main part of the house. This is actually only a 40-inch high knee wall inside their current master bedroom. So the idea here is we're going to take away this screen porch, build out an addition here that's 2 stories, so we can get a couple of spaces down here, home offices, what else is new, and a master bath. There's currently only 1 full bathroom in the house up on the 2nd floor, and that too has very low ceilings. So I'll show you, I'm gonna go back to the site plan. So just so you can orient yourself, corner of Elizabeth, the cul-de-sac of Elizabeth. Here's the garage we already renovated. This is the kitchen part that already got approved. And this is really what we're here for tonight, is this addition. You can see that I did set the addition back for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to allow the brick facade to read as its own main house. and also to achieve some proper wall heights. Next page. So inside on the first floor, this is the area where that first addition is going to go. And this is the area where the second addition is going to go. There's going to be 2 rooms here, and upstairs, this is their existing kind of master bedroom with the low wall along the back, the low wall along the front. The actual front wall out here is about 40 inches high. Inside, they built a knee wall that's about a little over 5 feet high. So we're going to take off some of this roof here. We're going to leave all the existing roof in the front as is. And we're going to build around this chimney and make our space here. So here we are on the first floor again. So this is the area where the new kitchen's going to go. And this is the area where the new other rooms are going to go. Setback almost 1.5 feet here, comes out about 10 feet over, and it'll give them space to do some work in a home. Upstairs, existing, again, this is their current only bathroom in the house. They have 3 children now, so it's getting a little tight for everybody. Like I said before, this master is very small. It comes down to low roof lines. So what the idea here is we're going to pop up a roof here and tie it in with the new roof over here. And this is the whole second floor now. So this is the wall here and here that are both 5'3". But of course, when we build new spaces, we're not putting in 5'3" wall height. So what I essentially did is created a 7.5 foot high wall here along the back of the house, which becomes a shed dormer. And the wall in the front is also 7.5 feet. And it is even pushed back more than the first floor. And you'll see why I did that when we look at the elevations. So from the front, again, no changes here at all. You've got the existing brick. The new siding we're going to put on is going to match the siding on the back part of the house from the addition that was previously done, because there's no way we're going to match any brick. And it's a really nice looking brick, but we're not going to be able to match it. So we're going with the cedar clapboards. We have the 10-foot wide addition here, windows that will match the size and shutters of the existing windows. This is that front sitting room. A little bit of a shed roof here, stepping back to these windows in front of where the tub is in the master bath, and then another roof up above here. So you can see side by side when they tie together, you'll understand why I did this. This is that 40-inch high knee wall in the front of the existing house. So I've got, the ceiling heights in the first floor are only 7'9". So we have that plate height starting here. It's going to slope back till it hits this wall. And I purposely wanted to maintain this roof break here and keep this one separate. So we pushed that wall back until I had enough room to clear that. The chimney doesn't even have to be raised because it's already elevated above the ridgeline enough. So we'll have a shed, a vertical wall. This turns into essentially a little gable here. But I took this gable, instead of just looking at a shed roof, I wanted to bring this wall down so that this plate height matches the plate height that's in the front of the house, and it gives it a nice, charming kind of New Englandy look. Windows again, and the 2 offices are matching the existing size on the first floor. Little bathroom window up here with a shutter. This is the 7.5 foot wall I've got back here with the shed dormer. This is the one that was, this is the part of the other side of the house that was already approved. It was literally just a little shed roof and a couple of windows for the kitchen. And this is the entire back of the house now. This is the kitchen piece that was previously approved. And this is all, the new addition actually starts here and over. This window currently exists. And we're going to take off the brick that's around here now. So all the new siding will look continuous around this addition. When you come from this side and return back to this is where it's all wood already. So all the wood will touch each other in this corner. Window to match. This is an existing window with no shutters on it. This window is in the shower, believe it or not. And I usually don't put windows in showers, but I know this board. I know you like your windows. So put a window there for you guys. There's my egress windows from the master. And that's it.
On the east elevation, you're calling out hardy panel. What is that a leftover note?
Yep, leftover. Sorry about that. Cedar.
Okay, I'm fine with it. It's a really puzzle to get all that together.
I like the puzzles. They make it fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. I've put in a window in a shower too, so.
Yeah, it just looked a little too blah. And like it's a high window, so the sill will be, right about, chin height or so. Should be
Privacy glass. That's all you need.
Yeah.
It's nice to get fresh air on certain days.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, Tim, have a good night.
Thanks. You too, Daisy. See ya.
Okay. So Lance,
Yes, I'm here.
how are you? Is anyone
Good.
else joining you?
No,
Okay. All right, you're all set. You can share your screen.
I'm gonna have to see if I can find where I am here. Let's see. Share
If you're having
screen.
trouble, let me know and I'll do it.
Yeah, let's see here.
There you go.
That's not the right one. Oh, come on. And okay, this is it. I'm going to start with the topo existing. Okay, so this is the property.
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
No.
Okay. Well,
We're looking at your Windows Explorer screen.
oh, okay. I'm struggling. Let's see. If I open, just a minute, let me see here.
You might be sharing the wrong screen.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to have you open them up.
Okay, just stop sharing your screen.
Okay, that I've got to get back to now. Just sorry about this.
It's okay.
I'm not very used to these Zoom meetings. It's heavens. Join a meeting. Come on.
So at the top, it should say stop sharing.
There we are. Stop share. Thank you.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
And I didn't get my drawings put together well on the flash drive, as you'll see. You'll have to, the proposed and existing are, you can scroll through, but the rest of them are not. I know that.
Okay, so I'm going to scroll and you tell me when to stop and you can talk about what it
Okay.
is they're looking.
Basically, I guess that looks like the Google Earth. Now, which one is which here? Yeah, second one probably. You can see that's one of the existing neighbors. If you scroll down to the next.
Did you give us pictures of the front elevations?
Yes,
of the
I did.
neighborhood? Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm just
they are
gonna
there.
scroll. I'll scroll down to
Yeah.
that. So is this the property right here?
That is the property. Yes, you can see the driveway. This is the existing house, and there's an existing barn, and the driveway comes around behind it. The driveway comes in off of Bedford Road. Evergreen Lane, they actually butt up against Evergreen Lane in the back. They have a really big property here. It's an existing historic house and barn. That is that's the existing barn as it is now. The ceiling of the garage portion are all sawn logs, literally sawn logs for the joists. There are no actual joists in the first floor of this barn. Second floor are cut and as beams, and we are proposing to do some work on the barn by adding another garage bay. So that's the existing barn drawings.
Do you have any photographs of that?
There are photographs of
Let
that
me scroll
also.
down.
Yes. And that's the, we're into the proposed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the pictures. Okay.
Okay, that is the western side of the barn. And that is that's western also. That is the, yeah, continue. I guess that is still the western looking, coming toward the front. There's the front. And now we're getting to the house. There should have been a picture of the back if you scroll down a little bit further for the barn. These are pictures of the existing house. That's the front of the existing house. This is the western side of the existing house. The house is extremely short, 20 feet tall. There isn't the first floor is 7 feet, 1/2 inch high, the entire first floor. Really old house. That is the rear. Yeah, part of the rear, the big gable piece. Okay, now we're getting back to the.
I might keep going up.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I think there was, okay, these are the existing drawings of the existing house. So that's what you're looking at there. There's the front and the west. These are the existing floor plans. That's the existing barn. So, okay, if you scroll back, continue, yeah, that way. Let's, there's a site plan in here. Okay, now we're back to the pictures. I think you went by the site plan.
Is it, am I still going down?
Yeah, keep, I don't know where it went. Okay, well, this is the proposed first floor plan where you can see the barn kind of up in the right-hand corner, and we're adding a third bay to the left-hand side of the barn. The back of the existing barn is going to become a gym and a bathroom, and there's a common area that eventually may become kind of a pool house if they do the pool later down the line. It's a future. Then there's a mudroom laundry area, new stairway to the second floor, plus a stairway down to basically an underground basement that is 7 feet high. So it's not finished, it's strictly for storage. They have no attic in this house whatsoever. There's a powder room and a closet entranceway, rear entrance from both the backyard and from the driveway. And then it goes to an added family room. So if you scroll up just a little bit, yeah, the family room. And then that connects to what is the existing family room that will become their eating area and their pantry. And then the kitchen gets remodeled. The existing house is a historic house, and the Historic Society basically said, you know, we should try to keep as much of the existing house as we can, and actually try not to absolutely match it was one of their comments, that we be slightly different for what we're proposing to add, yet match materials and things, which I think will show in the elevations we have done. This is the second floor, so there is going to be a room with a bedroom and an office and a bathroom and a living area over the barn, and then the stairway down that connects down to the first floor. And if you scroll up just a little bit, over on the left-hand side, we are adding the master bedroom, bathroom, and an exterior balcony porch. And then we're turning the existing master into the closets and part of the master bathroom, adding a laundry on this floor and adding another, actually putting in a bathroom where the existing master is, but making it smaller for that bedroom. So basically on the left-hand side of the house, things are getting changed on the second floor. This is the proposed front elevation. The portion on the left is the new master. And we went with some metal roofs, a gray color, to kind of break there's existing sheds in the house. We wanted the sheds to continue, but we wanted them to be slightly different. than the existing sheds, which are just shingled roof. All the siding will match what is existing. So the barn portions and the portions connected to the barn will have vertical siding. The portion connected to the main part of the house has the horizontal siding, which is wood, which will match the existing. Where the main body of the front of the house is remaining exactly as it is. None of the windows are changing. None of the, the siding, the trim, everything, just repairing wherever necessary. The partial front elevation just kind of shows without the barn in the background. So scroll to the next one. So this is from the east side. So the existing house is to the on the left. Then there's the family room addition. Then there's the entrance, and then you see the barn with some shed roofs additions on the barn. The barn roof, the front wall is very low. It's like 40 inches high. So we wanted to get the windows raised up high enough so that you didn't have to squat down to look through them. We will be putting in new garage doors that give it more of a barn appearance. And then just working kind of down to bring the stairway down and bring in the light in the stairwell as it wraps around the corner, keeping the consistency of some metal roofs on the shed roofs and doing the shingles on the roofs that are any of the other roofs that would match the existing. This is the rear elevation with a section through the entry and showing the family room in the background. And on the right-hand side is the master bathroom, bedroom addition with a little porch off to the side. The next picture down is a view of the back of the proposed barn area. The one shed on the left-hand side exists. We're going to put the windows back into it. The shed kind of above the gable on the right, that is new, what we're proposing to do. This is kind of the whole rear of the house with the barn and the pieces all attached, and then the west elevation showing, the pieces of the barn that will get the vertical siding, and then the family room with the windows looking out into there. It's an amazing backyard. They have lots of specimen trees and things in this backyard. So we're getting rid of a lot of driveway that comes around behind the house and adding more of a circular drive parking area in front of the 3-car garage on just the one side of it now, rather than wrapping all the way around behind the house. And I guess we're back to the site. You can see kind of the loop driveway in the back right there, right by where it, that is all going to be gone as we connect the main house to the barn on the property. I don't know if there's any other, I think that's pretty much it.
Quite a project.
It is. Yes, it is quite a project.
Do you have a roof plan?
I don't know if that was there or not. Partial right there. I guess I don't. I thought I did, but I don't see one here.
It's all right. Yeah, it's a big project.
Do you
It
need
certainly
me to
is.
go to any particular plan?
No, that's okay, Daisy.
Okay.
Comments, anyone?
I mean, I think it's
nice. Yeah.
nice. It's in keeping with the expanding farmhouse over time scenario. So I think it's nice.
Right. It's like the houses in Maine that just keep expanding until they connect to the barn and the cows live with you. It's
Right.
It's kind of how this is. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely has that vernacular.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll leave it to Tom about all the headroom issues that you might be having, but it looks nice.
It is amazing. I mean, it's a good thing that my clients are fairly short, because when I walk around in there, I'm going, these ceilings are right on top of me. But it's and the second floor is even lower in a lot of places. But everything, everything's working, and all the new pieces that we're putting in have vaulted ceilings to give it the height. So.
Okay,
All right,
Very
you're all
nice.
set.
I think it's good.
Thank you.
Thank
right,
you very
Lance.
much.
Have a
Have a
good
good
night.
evening. Bye
Bye-bye.
now.
Okay. And now we are up to Stanley Wong.
Oh, okay. Hello, welcome for having me.
You recusing yourself?
Yes, I'm recusing myself now. All right, so this is a house on my street. My neighbor is doing a more of an interior alteration, but it's affecting some windows. So that's kind of basically what I'm showing. Here is the Google map. This is Aldridge Road. Down the hill is Bell right here. I live here, and my neighbor is there. So this marker here is their house. So these photos are the adjacent neighbors. And again, all the houses are different styles, different eras. This one is of note. This is the Greeley Barn. Really interesting house. I did a kitchen renovation there. This is, one of the more original houses that hasn't been altered much. Across from them is a house. I did a exterior stair here for this neighbor. And then across the street, they're just, varied styles, ranches and capes and whatnot. So this is the subject house. It's a cape that had a garage, and they, somebody before them obviously turned it into a living space. So the street fronts are at the top, and then working around the side. This is the north side. We're not doing any work there. This is the back. We're going to remove this window and add a window on either side of it. And then this is the south side. So there are two windows here, and we're basically going to keep the same opening, but we have to meet emergency egress openings. So we're going to turn these into casements that look like double hungs. So now I will move to the drawings, title sheet. So interior wise, there are two existing rooms, and they're basically flipping them so that the larger room is now in the back and the smaller room is in the front. This is the proposed plan. So the master will be in the back with a larger closet and an office, slightly expanded bathroom. Because we're altering these two existing bedrooms, we're going to have to meet the emergency code. So these are where the casements are going in the existing opening. And this window B and this window B will be two new double hung windows flanking the bed. And these are the exterior elevations. Let me move this over. So this window in the back is going to be removed, and these two windows will be just removed in their same spot. And here now you can see the before and after. So here, the shaded windows are the emergency egress, and in the back, two new windows, and this is going to be filled in. And that's it for the exterior. Any comments?
Yeah, roof plan?
I think for a completed submission, there has to be a roof plan associated with this.
Yeah, how many times did I say that today?
Let's discuss the shutters, please.
I'm not, they're existing shutters. I'm not touching the shutters, so.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good with it.
we can let that one squeak by.
Yeah.
Thank you, Architectural Review Board.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Mary Scott, patiently waiting. Number 10.
Let's see. Hi there.
Hello.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Let's see. Share, okay. Okay, here for some work on 3 Valley Lane, which is mostly interior, but there is a front porch. And can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I lost video of you, so that's why I'm asking. Okay, so here's the Google Earth. Valley Lane actually comes down and it kind of makes a curve to a cul-de-sac. This goes up to Worthen Way, which then connects to Hardscrabble. So we're on the curve with a lot of front yard. This is the front of the house. Kind of moving around to the left. Here's the garage. In the back, there was a sunroom that was enclosed at some point. And then kind of going around to the right side of the house. These are the neighbors kind of at the end of the cul-de-sac. Another one on the cul-de-sac. This was a house that was obviously torn down and rebuilt. And this is kind of diagonally across. And the other neighbor. Go up to the plans. So this is the existing house, has kind of a narrow kitchen. It's a very long house, has a lot of square footage, but kind of a short dining room, narrow kitchen. So, and big family room. So what we are doing is actually moving the wall to get a bigger kitchen, a narrower dining room, but expanding it to make it longer into the foyer area. Moving the powder room, which is now kind of right off the foyer, to the back of the pantry, gives us a little more space in the entry and kind of makes it a nice place to put the powder room in the back. And then the major thing for Architecture Review Board is adding a porch in the front, because they have a big front yard and their kids play out there all the time and they want to be able to hang out there and enjoy it. The other piece of this is there's a room on the end. We're making a mud room and we're putting a side porch in order to be able to enter off the driveway, excuse me, into the mud room, which also connects to the garage. So this is the porch, kind of simple, in keeping with the Center Hall Colonial. These are triple windows in their existing place. This triple window we moved over to be centered in the new dining room, which got bigger, kind of doing a portico piece in the middle with a curved roof to give a little more emphasis to the entry. Lattice below. This is the side porch. We were doing a little overhang, kind of turning it back to the garage roof. The back, really, the only change is new kitchen window, new slider, new powder room window. And then we're replacing the windows that are in the bathroom and the guest room that's down there. And that's it.
Looks nice. Comments, anyone?
My only comment is the columns look a little spindly for especially having such a long kind of visual span between the columns on the front porch.
You know, I mean, they're like 8 to 9 inches by the time you pack out the 6x6.
Okay.
Um,
Are they square around? Are you building?
The square. I mean, we can build them out to 10 inches. I don't think it's necessary, but you know, if you think that is, I will.
How does the railing meet the columns in the middle? Because maybe it's just extra lines, but on the ends, it looks like the railing dies into the columns, but in the middle, it looks like it runs in front of them.
Well, no, you know what it is? It butts into the side, but then it comes out the front.
Oh, got
because of the stair
Okay.
railing.
Got it. Okay.
And so this is true. You only have just 4 columns on the porch, right?
Right, well, we're using those big PSLs so that because we had windows in sort of odd spots,
Right.
it was hard to make any kind of modulation that worked with the windows and worked with the porch.
Yeah.
So we're doing long spans.
I mean, I think it's nice. My only comment is the size of the columns look a little thin for the proportions.
Well, as I say, I'm happy to beef it up to 10 inches if you think that would be helpful.
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah, but Stanley, there's the column on the other porch too, where it
It's a small
may
porch.
be too, yeah, maybe too big. If
Well, I wouldn't change that one. Right,
Yeah.
it's a very small span.
Yeah.
All right, should we leave it to the discretion of the homeowner, so to speak, or?
Yeah, I'm okay with,
ask for a change?
I'm okay with either leave it the way it is, but I prefer it to be larger if no one else has a strong opinion.
I'll discuss it with the owners.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
Okay.
Mary.
Have a
Thanks.
good night.
Good night.
Any more? Is that it?
That's it. So we have just,
Unwell.
you want more, Bob?
we have just one return.
We do have one more.
No, we have one return for next.
Oh,
meeting.
and next week. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so that is it.